already? Yeah. Good morning. Welcome to Leppington. I'm Therese Fidelli, Liberal candidate for Leppington. I'd like to acknowledge the Honourable Dominic Perrottet, MP, New South Wales Premier, the Honourable Matt Keane, MP, New South Wales Treasurer, MP for Camden, Peter Sigrees. How great it is to be here today for the official launch of the First Home Buyer Choice. First home buyers have a choice now of paying the stamp duty upfront or an annual property tax. This program is all about getting first home buyers into homes, especially around here at Leppington and surrounding areas where there will be a lot of land available, and it'll be a great initiative for all. Just like to thank the New South Wales Perrottet government for making this program available. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Therese, and we're joined today as well by Peter Sigrees, a member for Camden, obviously the Treasurer of New South Wales, Matt Keane, but also Damien Smallwood, who's a prospective first home buyer, and he'll talk today about how this policy will make a real difference to his life in being able to purchase his very first home, and also Michael Chadwick, the General Manager of Loan Market, who we'll hear from as well. Today is a great day for first home buyers in New South Wales. Today, if you've purchased a property from November 11, you'll be able to ask for a refund through Revenue New South Wales. So if you purchased a property since that time of around $1.25 million, on average, you'll be able to obtain a refund of around $50,000. This big, bold policy is a game changer for first home buyers here in New South Wales. We want Australians here in our state to be able to get their keys to their very first home faster, and that's why this new policy will make a real difference to first home buyers in our great state. It's a choice for first home buyers up to $1.5 million. If you want to pay that stamp duty, you can, but if you want to pay a small annual amount, you can do that as well. And that ensures that first home buyers can make the choice that serves their needs. This is all about ensuring that first home buyers, which we know on average take around 2.5 years to save that stamp duty for their first home. By ensuring that people have choice and not have to save the tens of thousands of dollars that you need to raise that stamp duty, you'll be able to get your keys to your very first home faster. And that is great for so many families across New South Wales. This is new thinking. This is focused on the future, and home ownership is part of our long-term economic plan to drive New South Wales forward. These are the policies that will make a real difference to people's lives. We can't accept the status quo. We can't keep doing things the tired old way of the past. We need to have new ideas, bold ideas, that will ensure that young people in our great state are able to reach the great Australian dream. We can't have an Australia that can't house its children. And our suite of policies, whether that's unlocking supply, continuing to build the infrastructure, but ultimately ensuring that young people today don't have to take years to save that stamp duty. They now have that choice. This is a game changer for first home buyers in New South Wales. It will make a real difference because we know opportunity and prosperity comes through home ownership, and everything that we can do as a government to have new ideas, new ways of thinking, to reduce that tax burden, to reduce those upfront costs will make a real difference to many families across our state. This is a big day for first home buyers. We expect around 2,500 people since November 11 will take this up today. It's a game changer for home ownership. For first home buyers across our state, you can go to Revenue New South Wales, apply for that refund as of today. And I also say that if you're looking at making that choice, if you're looking at purchasing your very first home, go to the Service New South Wales website. There's an online calculator. Make the decision that suits you and your family's needs. We've already had over 50,000 people across our state access that online calculator. This game-changing policy will make a real difference to people's lives. Home ownership, a crucial part of our long-term economic plan to drive New South Wales forward. I now pass to the Treasurer.
Well, thank you, Premier. This is a historic day for first home buyers. For the first time, first home buyers can ditch paying an upfront stamp duty for a small annual fee. We know this will make a huge difference for first home buyers, enabling them to get the type of property they want, where they want it. Right here, it's exciting to be in Leppington. And as you can see behind me, there's a lot of construction going on, and the median house price here in Leppington is over $1 million. And what this means is that under our policy, first home buyers will be able to get a benefit. Right here in Leppington, the median house price is $1.182 million. And that means under our policy, you can choose to pay a small annual fee of around $1,800 per annum. Or under Labor's policy, you can choose to pay an upfront stamp duty of $49,000. So we know that the average first home buyer holds their property for less than 10 years. So if they hold this property for 10 years, they'll pay around $16,000. So compared to Labor's policy of making them pay $49,000, under the Coalition's policy, they'll save $33,000. That can go to all manner of things, including helping people buy the home they want, buy the furniture that they need, buy all the things that they need. It's helping people get onto the property ladder much sooner, shaving years off the time it takes to save for a deposit. We're focused on helping first home buyers. We're helping them realise the dream of home ownership much sooner in suburbs like Leppington. Now compare that to Labor's policy, which is freezing thousands of first home buyers out of dozens of suburbs right across New South Wales. That's not a plan for the future, it's a plan for the past. We want to support first home buyers and help them realise their dream of home ownership much sooner.
Hey guys, my name's Damien. I'm just a first home buyer. I'm originally from Blacktown and looking to get my first property in Leppington at Southwest. Just with this new first home buyers scheme, it's eliminating a lot upfront costs and I'm actually able to afford a property or a house for that matter compared to something I was looking at before. Even the initial savings I worked out, it could be roughly around the $46,000 for the stamp duty. With the home calculator online, it worked out to be around that, or close to $2,000 per year. So my goal is to potentially sell my first property within the 5 to 10 years. So I'm looking to save possibly up to almost $15,000 to $20,000. So many thanks to Dom and Matt for getting this together. It's definitely helping me get my foot in the door for the property market, and I'm very excited for this opportunity.
Damien, what sort of property?
We've got one more to go.
Oh, sorry.
One more to go. We'll come back. We'll come back. Michael, well done, mate.
I'd just like to thank the Premier and the Treasurer for this great initiative, and I think in my role, one of the most prohibitive costs is the stamp duty, and in Sydney, a lot of customers don't qualify for a lot of the other first home buyer initiatives out there, and this is one that actually reaches out to everybody. Whether they're looking at buying a new property or they're buying an established property, this is one where it is actually tangible for first home buyers and helps them get into the market much sooner. So we've had lots of inquiries. We're pretty excited that we're seeing a lot of customers now being able to move and transact a lot quicker. So it's going to be very beneficial for most young individuals as well as young families as well that have been struggling for a long time. So thank you.
Go straight to Damien.
Yeah, I do. Damien, what sort of property are you looking to buy? Were you hoping to be able to buy a home rather than a unit?
Yeah, I'd much rather prefer living in a property or house. I've lived in a property or a house all my life, so not really can see myself looking to an apartment, especially in this type of market. It's very hard to achieve that goal for the property that I'm after.
And how long have you been saving to get into the market?
Yep, so I'm almost 26 now, and I've probably been saving almost 6 to 8 years even to finally get to this milestone. I'm probably pretty fortunate to be living with my parents still, pretty much almost rent free.
So he wants to get out.
Yeah, they're not kicking me out yet, but it is getting to that time to finally venture out myself and hopefully find a property with domain homes as well in this Leppington area.
Are you looking to build or buy?
I'm still unsure, but hopefully I can get something built or brand new.
How long, have you worked out how long it would take you to save for that stamp duty amount, based on how much you've saved or how much you will reduce that amount of time?
So what I've worked out, so with the stamp duty, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
sorry?
yeah.
Yep,
So
stamp duty.
if you had to save for the stamp duty, how much longer do you think that would take you?
You know, if I'm saving, say, even 10 grand, 20 grand a year, you know, could sharpen off 2 years off the time I'm waiting for a home. And with the property market, obviously it's coming down a bit, but if it's going to keep going up again, I might miss out on property in this area.
Labor's policy would allow you to buy something worth less than $800,000 and pay no stamp duty and no land tax. Have you considered that option, and sort of what was your thought pattern there?
I thought of it as well, but it's not going to get me the property that I want. I'm looking, you know, for a property around this area. So looking at that margin, I won't really be able to get that.
So what are you going to do with the savings? Obviously, you've been saving
Yep.
now. You don't have to pay that money up front. Are you going to further extend yourself to buy a property that might be worth more, or are you going to buy the original property that you're looking at and
Yep.
pump that into your home loan? What are you thinking?
So some of the expenses might even go to furniture when I move in. Obviously, as well with the extra funds, I'll be able to possibly look at something a bit higher than what I thought. I do have my parents as well behind me that can always possibly give a little bit more if I need to. So yeah.
Last question to Michael, if that's okay. Just
Sure.
Thanks, Damien. Appreciate it. First home buyers, obviously you deal with them a lot. What kind of price range are they looking at?
If we specifically talk about Sydney, you know, you're looking at a 2-bedroom unit around $600,000 plus. So there are some of the existing stamp duty benefits there for those customers. But if you want to buy a home in Sydney on a block of land, you are looking around the $1 million mark or more these days. So those customers tend to miss out on all the first home buyer issues that are there today.
And where do you find most of the customers are looking out of those two options?
Well, they're looking everywhere across Sydney. I suppose if it comes down to the customer choice whether they want to buy a new home or they're happy to buy an existing property. And there's different needs. So customers want to be close to infrastructure, so they may look at an apartment that's closer to the city. And there are a lot of young families that are looking to have a home with a backyard, so they're having to look, you know, out southwest Sydney, for example. Yeah.
Sorry, Dom. Sorry, Premier. Do you find? Sorry, I think what Lockie was also asking was, what percentage are you finding that are happy to buy a unit versus want to buy the house in the first home buyer bracket?
Yeah, I'd say it'd be 60 to 70% of first home buyers are looking for a home rather than an apartment. And if they had their choice, a lot tend to look at apartment because, you know, that's where their budget is. And, you know, if they don't have the stamp duty, they're looking at something cheaper so they can get the stamp duty concessions.
And
Yeah.
do you think that tells a story of the fact that first home buyers in Sydney are significantly older than first home buyers elsewhere in the country because of that because of the level of savings they need to have to get into the market?
I can't comment on the rest of the country, but, you know, in Sydney, because it is more expensive, we're probably finding that they are slightly older because they're having to borrow, save a little bit longer. But we do have many young customers where they're relying on mum and dad to help them. So, you know, that's where that really helps as well, that, you know, they can do it on their own. So that's a real benefit for a lot of first home buyers.
You obviously have to work with the banks. How do you think the banks and the lending institutions will look at, I guess, people's serviceability arrangements now, given if they choose this land tax? Because that's something banks are going to have to look at, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. And we are seeing the banks roll out with their lending policies over the last week and throughout this week. So most of them have communicated with us, you know, what their lending policies are. So the way they treat is the land tax is just an obligation to be able, and if they can show that the customers can show that they can service that debt. And for example, for Damien, it's $1,800, $1,900 per annum. So it's not a big impost when it comes down to determining the affordability or negatively affecting their affordability with what they're looking to purchase today.
Would you say, because do banks look at, for example, if you're going to buy, they don't look at strata, which can often, strata levies annually would often be a lot more than the $1,800 a year in land tax. And the banks don't look at that, do they?
Yeah, banks do look at strata, so that's an expense of that property. So we do have to account for that when we determine customers' affordability. Yep.
Can I make a further comment?
Thanks.
Thanks, Michael. I think there's some very important points made by both Damien and Michael there. Under Labor's policy, Labor are forcing families into apartments. Under our policy, we're providing choice. We want people to move into their home, and we want to provide that opportunity. Now, Labor's policy is stuck in the past. It's a lazy opposition with no fresh ideas for the future. And what we've seen is that with policies of the past, which Labor, by the way, has simply just copied our old policy, we've seen more and more first home buyers get locked out of the market. Under this policy, what you are seeing is young first home buyers like Damien get the opportunity to have their first home, a house, out here in southwest Sydney, because he doesn't have to pay that substantive upfront stamp duty. So when Labor talk about 95%, you're looking at current and historical figures. What we're seeing under our policy is greater opportunity and prosperity for first home buyers for the next generation. Our policy is focused on the future. Our policy is based on the circumstances our state finds ourselves in, and is opening up home ownership right across the board, whether it's an apartment, whether it's a house. That's what our policy delivers by providing that choice up to 1.5 million, as well as Damien journeys through life and his financial circumstances improve. He more than likely will sell his property, and then he's in a much better position than he would have been had he not been able to buy his first home. Under this policy, he will be able to, and he would not have been able to under the policies of the past and Labor's tired old way of doing things. What it shows is they haven't got the bold ideas. They've got the boring, old, tired way. This is great policy. It's fresh ideas that's going to change the game when it comes to home ownership in our state.
I suppose, Premier, for first home buyers who only have a budget of $800,000, Labor is a better policy. Labor's policy is a better policy for them. Do you think that's going to harm your election chances in March?
No, this is a much better policy. It goes all the way up to $1.5 million. We have had we have had stamp duty concessions. That is our policy that we've had for many, many years. And what has that demonstrated? That we have a real challenge with first home buyers. We could have just simply done the tired old lazy way of Labor and tinkered around with thresholds. This is much better. This is a financially sustainable, better way of doing things that provides a massive tax cut for first home buyers. Rather than paying that $50,000 up front when you're young, you can pay small increments. And we know that first home buyers right across New South Wales are going to be much better off. Up to $1.5 million makes a real difference. We're not, under Labor, you're forcing families into apartments. Under our policy, we're providing opportunity and prosperity for the next generation of homeowners. That's what this is all about. This policy reaches more people, more properties, and provides opportunity for generations to come.
But doesn't your policy, I guess, punish people who can't afford more than $800,000?
No, it doesn't. It's our policies of the past where we had those stamp duty thresholds in place, and obviously that there is no stamp duty around 650, and then up to 800 in terms of concessions. Yeah. Now what we're doing is expanding it. We're opening it up so that there are more properties available. And what we've seen is that many first home buyers are buying apartments. That's why when Labor says, oh, their policy, which we dispute, covers 95%. No. Our policy is opening up the properties. We are going to have first home buyers like Damien now be eligible to buy homes he would never have dreamed about in the past. What we will see is a new generation of young people getting the keys to their very first home faster, but also getting a better home. That's what our policy achieves. And as Damien moves on in life and his income increases, he'll be in a much better position under our policy. Our policy is about aspiration. Home ownership is a crucial part of our long-term economic plan to drive our state forward, not just for today, but for the next generation.
Can I get clarity about a number you said? You said since November 11, 2,500 people. Are you saying that there's approximately 2,500 people who have bought from November to today?
To November 11 until today. So there's two cohorts in that. There's those people who have purchased a property from November 11 who have paid stamp duty, and there are those people who have bought a property since November 11 and have not yet paid their stamp duty. So some people wouldn't have paid their stamp duty today. They will immediately be able to now pay the annual amount, and if there are those people who have paid stamp duty on those properties, they will be eligible for a refund.
So the combination of those two cohorts is 2,500 people expected to switch to first.
That's the estimate from Revenue New South
Do you
Wales.
know roughly how much that's going to cost?
Well, our plan is $700 million as part of this package, but you know, this is a financially sustainable approach. But ultimately, as well, we know our state is better off, our society is better off when our young people can afford to buy their very first home. And doing things the old, tired Labor way is not going to change the game. It's not going to drive home ownership.
2,500 people in like only a couple of months, and I guess in the first few months of this program, it's almost a third of what Treasury estimated at the start. Is this potentially growing faster than you anticipated?
That is the case.
Will that cost? Yeah,
We'll work through that. I mean, we've obviously had Treasury budgets and we've got Revenue New South Wales forecasts. But what a great thing it is. Our budget, the New South Wales budget, is not there for itself. It's there to help our people. And there's nothing more important than helping our young people buy their very first home. So,
but this could cost more than that 730.
but we'll work. You know, we'll work through that. But that's the Treasury estimate. That's the Treasury estimate. And let's see. Success here is more first home buyers getting the keys to the great Australian dream. That's what we're focused on as a government. You don't run strong budgets for the sake of it. You run it to help our people. And I've seen that in my previous role as Treasurer. We were criticised for many years in the good times running strong budget surpluses. But we did that so when the difficult times came, when the bushfires came, when the drought came, when the pandemic came, when the floods came, we were able to stand side by side with our people. And the time I've been in public life, the more I've learnt on this exact point, that we are here to use our strong financial management to make a real difference to people's lives. Yesterday, we were out in Riverstone announcing $1 billion for road projects for Western Sydney. From where? From Westinvest. How did the $5 billion in Westinvest come about? Because of the WestConnex transaction. A road that Labor opposed, a transaction that Labor opposed, but guess what? They're there to spend the money. They're there to spend the money because we make the decisions that might be tough, that might not be popular, but are right. And that ensures our budget is in a position to help our people, and that's exactly what this policy will do. And to have so many young people like Damien, who I know, this policy will make a real difference to his life because, but for this policy, he'd be waiting, as he said himself, another 2 years. By the time Damien has taken 2 years to save for his home, he's falling further and further behind. This is a game changer for Damien and a game changer for many young people across our state.
Premier, on the topic of decisions, has the Narrabri lateral gas pipeline been given planning approval yet? And if not, why not? It was designated critical.
So we're working through that. It's critical infrastructure. It's a matter for the planning department, and we want to get bureaucracy out of the way. I've met with the head of Santos. I've met with the head of the planning department, the planning minister, to get that project up and running as soon as possible. It's crucial for the future. And the other point I want to make about Narrabri is reservation, domestic reservation. Right, so this is a crucial project among our suite of projects, and the Energy Minister's here today about a long-term energy plan to set up our energy needs, not just for today, but for generations to come. That's what we're focused on. Narrabri, crucial part. That pipeline is a crucial project. I want it completed as quickly as possible. And I've made that very clear to the Planning Minister and to the head of Santos.
Just on energy, either for you or Energy Minister, there are some reports of retailers not taking on new customers or jacking up prices since the gas caps. What's your reaction to that, and was this an unintended consequence?
Well, this is obviously a national problem that requires a national solution, which is why we worked hand in glove with the Albanese government to enact the price caps. We've done what the Albanese government has asked us to do, and we've done so to protect consumers and businesses here in New South Wales. Now, we know that the electricity price here in New South Wales is driven by the coal spot price. That's why we've capped coal prices, but we know in other states and territories that the gas price sets the wholesale price of electricity. So again, This was a national solution put forward by the national government, and we've done our bit to protect consumers and businesses here in New South Wales.
So you're not taking any responsibility for the unintended consequence of retailers not taking on new customers?
Well, of course we're taking responsibility for ensuring that New South Wales citizens and businesses get the lowest electricity prices possible in the face of an illegal war in Ukraine. We know that the illegal war is pushing up the price of gas, it's pushing up the price of coal, which is pushing up the price of electricity. Now, we've stepped up working with the Commonwealth Government to do everything possible to protect consumers and businesses, and we're very proud of that.
Premier, just on your 21st birthday outfit, the former New South Wales Premier Bob Carr has called you unelectable and called on Jewish leaders to go harder on you than what they have. What do you make of his comments?
Well, this is a former Labor Premier who left our state with a $30 billion infrastructure backlog and put pokie machines on every street corner. We're still cleaning up his mess. So I won't be taking lectures from him.
What on pokies? Where are you at with Cabinet and the Nationals? Are you close to...
I've had very constructive discussions with them, and I'm working through finalising the policy. But the policy, I've made it very clear. The policy is cashless gaming in New South Wales. That is the policy, and we're working through matters around that, and we'll be close to having something to say about that soon.
On Bob Carr, how much responsibility do you believe he has to take?
Well, he opened it up. He opened it up. We have more pokie machines in New South Wales than anywhere outside of Nevada. And who was responsible for that? The Bob Carr Labor government. And we are still cleaning up that mess. We're still cleaning up the mess of the $30 billion infrastructure backlog and the broken budget we inherited by Labor. Labor doesn't change. It's always the same way. They don't make the tough decisions. As I was saying, and this is not being picked up enough. You've got a shadow transport minister who is against the West Connects. I mean, what are they going to do? Fill it in if they were to get elected, which they won't. But you've got them against the West Connects, you've got them against the transaction, and those are the decisions that drive our state forward that we have made. We've made those decisions. Now, under Labor in this state, for 16 years, we went backwards. Unemployment through the roof because they didn't manage money well and made decisions like under the former Premier Bob Carr in relation to pokie machines that have created significant problems across our state. And here we are today with a Crime Commission report setting out very clearly the challenges and the problems with money laundering through pokie machines in New South Wales. And there's a reason why these challenges are more substantive in New South Wales than anywhere else. And that was because of the decisions of the previous Labor government.
You keep saying that the end goal of what you will do is cashless gaming, but you haven't yet got this through Cabinet. Can you commit to having that through Cabinet before the election?
Yeah, we'll be very clear. I've made it very clear. I've made this very clear. There should be no ambiguity here. We are going to cashless pokie machines in New South Wales, and the issues around that I will announce as part of a substantive package. But you will see very clearly that's where we're going, because we cannot have a situation, two things, where money laundering is occurring through pokie machines in New South Wales, set out very clearly. This is not me saying it, and this is, I think, needs coverage. This is not me saying it. This is the head of the New South Wales Crime Commission. The New South Wales Crime Commission. This is not a random report. This is not some, think tank that's come out with this idea. This is the New South Wales Crime Commission in our state saying that there is money laundering occurring, and number one recommendation that we have cashless pokie machines in New South Wales.
Premier, sorry.
That's right.
Just on the 21st birthday,
Yep.
are you concerned about Robert Borsak referring you to the police for possibly allegedly failing to disclose that you wore the Nazi badge on your 21st birthday
No.
in your application?
No, and Robert Borsak has his own problems. He has relevance deprivation. He has lost his entire members in his party. Matt, do you want to say anything further on for that? Yeah, why don't you have a tee off for that?
Well, Robert Borsak has no credibility on this issue or anything else. I mean, Robert Borsak has had every single member of his parliamentary team resign from his party because of his leadership. I think that tells you everything you need to know about Robert Borsak's credibility on this issue or anything else for that matter.
Treasurer, this morning you spoke of horrible cowards, I think it was, leaking against the Premier and the party. Are you worried these sources will continue to cause damage leading up to the election, and what's your message for them? Because I believe they're internal, the sources, they're internal to the party.
Well, I don't know who it is, but these horrible cowards should come out from the swamp that they're living in and put their name to these horrible smears. These people should have no place in Australian public life. They want to play their silly games. Well, we're not going to indulge that. We are focused on delivering for the people of New South Wales, and that's what we'll continue to do, just like we're here today at Leppington to do, to remind people that today is the first day where first home buyers can now have a choice between paying a large upfront stamp duty or a small annual fee. And this suburb has a median house price of $1.18 million, which means that under Labor's policy, a first home buyer will have to pay $49,000 in stamp duty, compared to the Coalition's policy, which will see them only pay $1,800 for their policy. Now, we know first home buyers, on average, hold their home for less than 10 years, which means a dramatic saving in this circumstance of around $33,000. So the choice is quite clear. This election is between a team that wants to build a better and more prosperous future for everyone in New South Wales versus Chris Minns, who is in the pocket of vested interests.
Last question. Calling potentially Coalition colleagues swamp living cowards doesn't exactly convey a united team, though, does it? Does the Liberal National Government have a problem with unity at the moment?
Well, you said that. What I said is whoever is doing these things should put their name to it, should come out, rather than hiding anonymously behind a keyboard, pushing smear. That's not acceptable. Put your name to it. Have some courage, stop being a coward. We're not worried about that. We're worried about the people of this state, which is why we're going to continue to deliver our first home buyer choice scheme, which is why we're rolling out affordable and accessible childcare to everyone across New South Wales, because we want to encourage as many women as possible to be able to participate fully in the economy. And we know that childcare is a major barrier to that happening. That's why we're rolling out universal pre-kindergarten, because we want to ensure that every child is not only able to realise their dreams, but dream bigger in the first place. That's exactly what Premier Perrottet has driven. That's exactly what Premier Perrottet is delivering. And that's what we'll continue to fight for every day of the week, a better and more prosperous future for everyone in this state.
Treasurer, just on cashless gaming, Premier's just spoken heavily in favour of it, probably as clear as he's been on the matter. But for you, the criticism is it'll lead to a drop in playing. For you, that means a drop in revenue as Treasurer to work with. Are you 100% on board with the destination the Premier's talking about?
I'm 100% on board with the Premier when it comes to protecting problem gaming and stamping out organised crime across New South Wales. We know that the Crime Commission report has said that one of the best ways to deal with organised crime, with money laundering, is a cashless gaming card. I'm encouraged by the Premier's bold and visionary plans, not only in this area of public policy, but right across the state. That's what he's been elected to do, and that's what I'm proud to be. That's one of the reasons I'm so proud to be part of his team, delivering bold and visionary reform to improve the lives of everyone in this state.
One last, and before we finish press conference, I just want to end on back in that there. I want to make this point very clear about first home buyers. This policy today is a game changer for so many young people and families across our state. We can't do things the same old way we've done in the past. This is a new way of thinking. It will get rid of the tens of thousands of dollars that young people have to save. Labor is wrong on their 95% because our policy opens it up for everyone. It opens up the market, it opens up homes and apartments. While Labor are forcing people into apartments, we are opening up opportunity and prosperity for generations to come. You can't keep doing the same things the same way. You need new ideas, fresh thinking. What we've seen under Labor is the tired, old way of doing things. They've got new ideas. They've got no new ideas at all. And it is with energy, innovative solutions, fresh thinking that will provide opportunity for people, not just today, but for young families well into the future. That's what our policy delivers today. It's a game changer for first home buyers, and I know it'll make a real difference to people like Damien and so many young people across our state. Thank you.
Well done. Thanks, mate.
Hey, mate. A bit late. Good thing it didn't start on time.
Mate, I knew.
Yeah, you know, these guys don't know.
The Helen Golden thing. Matt needed to say we won't be taking lectures from